Afternoon, everyone. Welcome to show number 7 of Adam and Peyton's album talks. For this episode, we are going to be covering Graceland by Paul Simon, released in 1986. So, I'll let Adam come in. He can give his 2 cents as well.
Hey, Peyton.
Hello there. How's it
How
going?
you doing?
I'm
It's
finally
going
visible.
great. What is it?
I'm finally visible.
Yay! It's been so long.
All right, so I introduced the album to them. I told them we're doing Graceland. Number 7 already. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I can't believe we're on episode 7. So
Yeah.
part of the reason I chose this album was because a long time ago somebody asked us to do albums that had a cultural impact on the world, and there were 2 that came to mind, and one was Brothers in Arms, which we did for episode 4, and the other one was this. And the primary reason behind that is that it was really groundbreaking at a time when there was a widespread cultural boycott of South Africa due to apartheid, when in reality it was only hurting the artists who were suffering under that system by at the same time not giving them worldwide attention. And Paul Simon was able to break that barrier and introduce the world to so much great South African music. And it was kind of a cultural revolution in some ways, and it helped a lot of South Africans reclaim their pride as musicians.
Did you know that this album, as of now, I think, has sold 16 million copies worldwide?
Yeah, that's a lot of copies.
Pretty damn good for a
Yeah,
little
I'd
old
say
album.
so.
All right, so without further ado, do you want to get started?
I'd love to get started.
All right, track number 1 is Boy in the Bubble.
Ooh,
And I
this
said
is a good one.
It's the first of 4 songs that have the accordion in them. I counted.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Cool.
This one, the accordion's played by Forere Motloheloa, which is one of the South African musicians, one of the many that feature prominently on this album. And this is a really interesting song because he starts off with probably what's the most political song on the whole album, because it's basically describing the kind of the high-tech, suspicious nature of the 80s. Like there's all these cameras and lasers following us wherever we go. There's all these advancements of technology that give us these miracles, but also invade our lives and invade our privacy.
I sense a connection.
Yeah. And I love the fact that the verses and the chorus are in a different key. I love that choice. I like to make that choice in some of my music as well. I think it's a really cool contrast. The verses being in A minor and the chorus being in G major.
He tended to do that on a couple of the songs on this album, which I think is a very interesting decision, but it also makes it a very distinct one as well.
Yeah. I think my favorite part is going back from the third verse, when he starts singing all these words like really rapid fire. He's like, medicine is magical and magical is on because the boy and the bubble and the baby with the baboon heart. I believe these are the days. It's a great transition. He's trying to get all those words in, and he's straightened for the rhythm a little bit, but he also makes it work so effortlessly. So. I love that part.
You got the lyrics down pat, though. You
the
too.
Lyrics are great, aren't they? I love the lyrics.
I said the song kind of paints a picture of optimism during times of hardship, in a way. I mean, I read up on this one a little bit. I mean, he does. There are a few lines that seem a little more optimistic than he lets on.
Yeah, that's true. There's also the chance. I don't know how you think about it, but I feel like some of the optimism is a little bit like sarcastic, like these are the days of miracle and wonder, and don't cry, baby, don't cry, and it's like telling the person not to cry when there's like bombs in baby carriages and there's lasers in the jungle and crazy stuff going on, and telling them not to cry. Like it is much, and sometimes it can be overwhelming. I mean, I didn't live in the 80s, so like I don't know how this felt to people, but
I don't know. it could be different. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think any of us really will.
Yeah.
Again, like we weren't born during that time, so.
No, we were not.
But let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, well, that was a good leading track.
Title track, Graceland. What do you think about this one?
I think it's good. It gives the feel of just this ever-flowing landscape of kind of just a song that's always kind of always growing and but still stays with the same pattern. The chords don't change too much, which I like. It kind of just stays on a steady E major beat.
I said it's got a kind of a bouncy, fun tone to it.
And he builds with it, and he has this great part where he harmonizes with, you know, the Everly Brothers?
I've heard of them, yeah.
They're on this track. They sing.
This is the track they did.
He brings them in to sing on it, and you can hear them harmonizing with him.
Yeah,
it's great.
That's pretty cool.
It's a nice song. It paints this image, this pleasing image of this kind of this utopia that we're all going to get to eventually through societal progress. The idea of Graceland. And I mean, obviously, you know, you think of the Elvis Presley's home in Memphis, Tennessee.
Say that.
That's really what he's alluding to. But in reality, I think it's meant to be more than that. I think it's meant to the idea of a land full of grace for people, like grace and goodwill and, you know, optimism. And he's taking it literally, a land of grace. Like that's really what he's trying to get at.
Do you think it could allegorically mean like heaven or something? Do you
Possibly,
think that's
or just a better future for people.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Especially during these trying times, we need a song like that.
He keeps interjecting these funny little phrases. He's like, for reasons I cannot explain, there's some part of me wants to see Graceland. Like he can't really explain why he wants a better future. He just does. You know, it makes you think like there's no real reason except that we just want a better future. You know, it doesn't have to be explained.
That's true.
Maybe there's no obligations.
Yeah, and the song is very, very soft, very genuine too, and
genuine.
For lack of a better word, graceful. It's very graceful. That's what I think.
It is graceful. It's beautiful.
All right.
I love the losing love is like a window in your heart part too. That part's pretty beautiful. He kind of slows it down there, and he said, "Losing love is like a window in your heart." His singing's awesome on this too. This whole record, his voice is super strong.
He does a really good job. I mean, he gets soft at certain points, but his presence is always there.
Yeah,
which kind of fits the theme of the album. Number 3, I Know What I Know. I noticed there was a freaking chant in the background during one of the verses, I think.
So this was, on this one, he had backing him another South African group, General M.D. Shirinda and the Gaza Sisters. And this one's really unique because it's really the first foray into this distinctly a music that belongs distinctly to other cultures, a music that did not appear at all in America before this album, with the really cool chanting in the background and this high-pitched whooping sort of singing, you know, this really high-pitched, loud singing. It's an awesome track, and it's got great lyrics too. Super fun.
It does. I said it kind of makes a blunt statement about knowledge because he references like the woman saying, "I know what I know." I mean, it's just a very blunt phrase. I know what I know. I can't change it.
I think that all the instrumentation on this one, the guitar is probably the strongest.
Yeah, I like the cymbal clash at the appropriate times too. Did you hear that in the track?
Yeah, I did.
It was a bass drum. I don't know. It was either a bass drum or a cymbal clash.
Maybe it was. Something like that. It's a great song. It's fun. It's really danceable too.
I could say the same thing about the next track, Gumboots. I
Oh
started
yeah,
this one. I really like this one. This is
you
a good
do?
one.
That's cool.
Yeah. I like here the accordion's back on this track.
Yeah, it is.
I wonder if
Uh,
Weird Al got an influence from Paul Simon. Probably not, but
I don't know. There are a lot of artists who feature the accordion.
that's true. That's
It's a
true.
cool instrument. It can be heard on Piano Man by Billy Joel.
I thought that was a harmonica.
Oh, it might be.
Yeah, that's a harmonica, man.
But there might
But
also be an accordion.
I don't
I
know.
think it
I'll
was a
have to look
harmonica,
into
an
that one.
accordion, and a mandolin, which is another really cool instrument that I actually
Oh,
play.
mandolin is fun too, and I like the use of electric guitar on this one. Oh, and the saxophone solo, I think.
Oh yeah, the
I don't know if
saxophone
it was
thing is
really.
great on this one.
I don't know if it was much of a solo as it was just kind of incorporated into the track, but whatever it was, I really enjoyed that. I wish
It
my
kind of gives you
brother
the
could
idea of
play
like an old
something.
'60s song, doesn't it?
It does. I said it has kind of a jazzy kind of street music feel, like you would hear
Yeah,
this out like on a street corner
I think
being
you're right.
played for
Yeah.
you.
Did I tell you,
And I thought,
the title of the song actually takes its title from the original bootleg tape of South African music that inspired the whole
oh, that's
idea
what it
for
was
the album.
called.
So at the time, before this album was created, Paul Simon was in a pretty deep depression because his relationship with Art Garfunkel had deteriorated and his marriage to Carrie Fisher. Did you know he was actually married to Carrie Fisher from Star Wars?
I didn't know that he was. I
Isn't
read
that
it
weird?
earlier, but I
Yeah,
thought that's kind of weird.
his marriage
Yeah.
collapsed, and he was also just his last album didn't do so well on the charts, and he was just generally depressed. And this South African music that he started listening to when he got this tape called Gumboots, and it was all South African music, that helped him to start to feel better about his
Yeah.
life and his music. So that was what inspired the whole album, basically.
I mean, that's the power of music, man. It can even
Absolutely, yeah.
darkest times. Sometimes you just find that one song that
That
maybe
inspires
not a
you to
lot of
keep on
people
going.
like, but it really connects to you in a certain way.
Absolutely, and I'm sure he must have felt at the time that he was making this music that like nobody else would like, but it was really just for him. It was music
Yeah.
that was just meant to cheer himself up and make himself feel good about the world. And in the process, it turns out 16 million people liked it as well, so that was pretty good.
Sometimes the artist just needs to, make an album for themselves, I think. That's what
Absolutely, yeah.
that's what you need to do. If it gets latched on by a bunch of people who you didn't even know liked it, then that's great. But
Yeah,
I mean, really music is subjective, but it's important too. It's existed since the dawn of time, I'm pretty sure,
absolutely, yeah.
just in different ways. Okay, number 5, Diamonds on the Soles of Her Shoes.
Oh, this is great because it's got an intro that features Ladysmith Black Mambazo, and as far as I'm concerned,
Yeah.
they're the standout group in terms of the South African musical groups that he features on this. They're a choral group led by Joseph Shabalala, who also helped to write the intro of the song. And their harmonies are just absolutely beautiful. They work so well as a choir, and they just highlight the importance of singing in that culture. Like that, singing is such an important part, even if it's a cappella. No accompaniment, and they can still create such a beautiful song with just
Yeah.
their voices and the
Sorry,
unique things that they do with their
that.
voices. Yeah, this is a great song. Both the intro
Mhm.
and the main part of the song, I think, are great, although they're very different.
Yeah, I like how it shifts from a chant and with a sung verse until like an instrumental kind of groove kind of.
Yeah,
It's very soulful too. You can feel the soul in this song.
yeah.
It's got
More great saxophoning in this one.
I thought those were horns.
Well, they're
Maybe they
either
were horns
horns or
and
there's some types of
saxophone.
horns.
Yeah, so maybe there were both. There were probably horns and saxophone. I
Probably
thought there was
saxophones,
saxophone, but trumpets,
trombones,
maybe bugles, something like that. But
cornets.
yeah, that was very well done. Very well done
It
song.
was. It's a long song, but it's
Okay.
very good.
It is. Is this the longest one on the album, or is this like
I
the
think it
second
is. It's like 5 minutes. It's like 5.5 minutes long, and it's got some great lines in it too. It's kind of about just like the idea of like gap between the rich and the poor, the love that can still be fostered between the rich and the poor. You know, it's a really interesting song.
Yeah. I'm guessing this was more of a personal one to the either Simon or some of the other members of the group, but you can really feel it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, number 6, the big pop hit off this album, You Can Call Me Al.
Oh, this is good.
It's just a fun one. It's just fun. That's the point, I think.
Absolutely.
Although,
did you know there's a music video for it with Chevy Chase in it?
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Chevy Chase, some of our viewers might know him from Christmas Vacation. He was featured in the video for it. And
a number of movies, really. And, well, it kind of stemmed from Paul Simon's always had a long-standing relationship with SNL. Like, he was one of the first guests to appear on the show when it started, and he's developed friends with a lot of the cast members. So it makes sense that he would have somebody from SNL in his music video. But yeah, that's a good song. And my favorite part of the song is actually the bass solo before the final chorus. There's this great bass solo from I forgot the name of the bassist. It's a very hard to pronounce name, but he's a great bassist, and he just does this awesome fretless bass solo. It's just awesome. It's the best moment in the song, probably.
Not bad, Dad. It's over there. Here, he's looking for something. I'm sorry.
No, that's totally fine. Yeah.
No, it's okay.
Interrupting you.
It's and I said this song kind of tells us a story of a man who is a bit more existentialist.
Yeah. Apparently, it's about a midlife crisis. I don't know. You interpret it for yourself what it means to you.
I found what he was looking for. It was in my pocket.
Oh, okay, that's good. I'm glad it was found.
Yeah.
But yeah, You Can Call Me Al. That's a funny song. It's got a lot of funny lines in it.
Yeah. Man walks down the street and says, "Why am I soft in the middle?" I mean, that's just a weird line to open with, in a way. Okay. Number 7 is Under African Skies, featuring a female vocalist, Linda Ronstadt. Yeah.
Oh, this is a great duet between those two. Yeah. Linda Ronstadt's voice is really beautiful.
Although it doesn't really discuss Africa too much. I mean,
what?
It doesn't. I mean, it touches upon it, but it doesn't really discuss it. It talks more about Joseph, who's maybe a representative of a black man, but it could also represent the Bible version of Joseph as well.
That's possible, maybe.
I mean,
but yeah,
it
just paints an interesting picture. I love the chorus might have some of the best lines in the whole album. This is the story of how we begin to remember. This is a powerful pulsing of love in the veins. After the dream of falling and calling your name out, these are the roots of rhythm, and the roots of rhythm remain. I just love the message that sends.
It's got a very good allegory to love. It's a very lovely song.
And it's a beautiful song, and their voices work so well together on it. It's a great song. And it almost fades into a really interesting little section at the end where the instruments kind of all blend together and form like a mini soundscape at the end. Did you kind of hear that?
Kind of, yeah. And then it goes
like a pulsating soundscape at the end there.
Yeah, they can kind of end with like a mash of sounds, and then they just cut it off.
That's pretty much what they did.
Which is an interesting decision to take. And then the next song is also very interesting. Homeless, which is a completely a cappella. And I thought that was interesting. It's the only song.
This might be my favorite song on the album. This is this one was again co-written by Joseph Shabalala, who's the leader of Ladysmith Black Mambazo, and obviously it features. It's mostly a Ladysmith Black Mambazo song. It mostly features them. In fact, it's only them up until about the 2-minute mark when Paul Simon comes in with his "Somebody Say" part.
It's kind of an interesting decision to take on his own album.
the fact that Paul doesn't even come in till the 2-minute mark, that he kind of lets them lead the song, really, with their beautiful harmonies and their beautiful vocal stylings and their harmonies. It shows that really, even though the album has Paul Simon's name on it, it's not exclusively Paul's album. It's an album meant to celebrate the world and celebrate the various cultures of the world. So
shows a sense of maturity in a way.
I think it's placed perfectly on the album.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly what all the words mean. I mean, I've looked at the South African words in it. I don't exactly know what they mean in English, but
I researched this one a little bit. It seems to be a tribute to African poverty, but it's sympathetic to their plight. So I mean, it's called homeless in a way. So
it's kind of like a call for help, almost like a notification. Like we're really suffering here. Like we need help. Like there's many dead tonight. It could be you. Like we're in this constant fear of dying. Like it's actually a very sad sentiment.
It is. And unfortunately,
it creates such a picture of unity too, because all these people are singing with such unity, such brotherhood, that it's
still very relevant.
A really beautiful song. I would say that this is my favorite song on the album. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, number 9 is "Crazy Love," Volume 2, which is an interesting name to come up with. Did he make a Volume 1 to it on a different album?
Sure he may be referencing. There's a jazz song that's been recorded by a lot of artists, including Michael Bublé, called "Crazy Love." It's just called "Crazy Love." Okay. He might have been playing on that title, so it was a different song called "Crazy Love" that wasn't by him. But this is a funny one too.
Yeah.
It's got a great line.
But I got the sense of a person like traveling to find their love in this song. I kind of like that about it.
That's a good idea. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite line was My favorite line was, "Somebody could walk into this room and say your life is on fire. It's all over the evening news, all about the fire in your life on the evening news." That's such a vivid picture. Like, how could your life be on fire and the evening news knows more about it than you do? Like, it's such an interesting feeling. Maybe it's even talking about a little bit about Paul Simon's depression and like how he coped with that.
It could be. I mean, I also said I liked the change in chorus from the verses, like one of the other songs we had. I think it was "Boy in the Bubble." It's kind of like that, where its chorus is drastically different from its verses.
Verse is in G major, the chorus is in F major.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very different.
I also included. I wanted to give credit to. It features a band, South African, called Stimula. Yeah, and they play like the lutes, because I thought I heard like a woodwind.
The guitarist is prominently featured. Ray Fury, he's the guitarist of Stimula.
Okay.
He's one of the most prominent. That little guitar lick, that's him playing that. That cool little guitar lick. Yeah.
Okay.
You know what's funny about Stimula? Do you remember doing a song in chorus called Shosholoza?
Yes, I remember that song very well.
That word, Stimula, was in there, and it means a train, which means that basically Stimula is just train, even though there's an American band called Train formed way after they were formed.
Yeah.
They had that name first, way before Train ever had that name.
They were first, damn it. They should get credit.
Yeah, they should. Stimula.
And they did a good job with this track, too.
They did a great track, yeah.
That was known. Okay, number 10, "That Was Your Mother," is an interesting one.
I mean, it's all right. It's got a cool little New Orleans sound. It has Rockin' Dopsy and the Twisters on it.
There's kind of a lot of references to New Orleans in this song. A lot.
There are. I mean, it's cool. Like it's something you can dance to. It's probably not the most well developed song on the album. Like it's I hate to say it, but it's kind of like basic. You know, it doesn't it doesn't make me feel as impressed as the rest of the songs on the album. So
it's kind of the opposite of like Under African Skies, where there's like
also,
such maturity there.
it kind of has a
Or
mean
home.
message because it's a guy talking to his child about how much better life was before he had his child. So like
Oh
that's kind of mean. Like ugh.
well, I mean, like you mentioned, he was going through a tough time before this, so maybe that was written during the early stages. I don't know.
So yeah, I'm not a big fan of this one as much as I am of all the others on this album.
I
But it's still
enjoyed the
alright. It doesn't suck
saxophone
all the
solo,
energy out of
though.
the album.
Yeah, I enjoyed the sax solo, though. I thought that was a
The
nice
sax solo
touch
is
to it.
really good. The sax solo is probably the best part of the song.
Most memorable part, that is.
Yeah.
Okay, and finally, number 10. I mean 11. Oh, God, I ruined
Okay.
that.
It's fine. It's
Oh,
fine.
sorry.
Just keep going.
Okay,
It's
and
fine.
I'm just a little tapping, too, to announce it. All right, number 11 is called All Around the World, or The Myth of Fingerprints. I think this was a good ending to the album. I like the way
I think
this
it's a
ended.
great ending too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got the Los Lobos, which is actually a Mexican
Maybe a
music group.
cover of La Bamba, I remember.
Oh, they're oh okay. I didn't know them
Yeah.
for that. I know them for this, but
Oh,
still, they do a great job on this.
yeah,
This one's got such. I mean, the music is great on it. But
it is.
at the same time, the lyrics are really what stand out. And I think it concludes with a really a positive message of unity and hope. This whole idea of
Yeah.
there's no doubt about it. It was the myth of fingerprints. I've seen them all, and man, they're all the same. Like, I mean, technically, it's not true that fingerprints are all the same. They are all different. I guess I don't know if Paul Simon believed that they're all the same or what.
So
But
there are parts that are the same,
what
but
he's really trying to say with that is that we are like there's something within us that connects us to all humanity. Like there's something within us
yes.
that connects us, even to the people that we hate. There's just there's something in us that's all the same. Like even though we're very different on the surface, we all express ourselves differently. We all develop differently. There's something in us that connects us to everybody else.
I think it's more of a deep-rooted aspect than more of it could be partially a social aspect, but I mean, it could be also a physical thing, because sometimes you can just tell what a person is feeling by the way they present themselves.
I think you're right.
A person who stands up tall is very commanding, or a person who slouches is a bit more shy.
Yeah.
So it kind of gets to the root of that.
The line, it's not just me and it's not just you. This is all around the world. Like, it's a powerful statement to conclude an album that's so heavily invested in world music. Like, we need to break out of our selfish shells and we need to accept that there really is stuff going on all around the world and it's not all about us.
There is. And there still is. There still is every day.
Very applicable today.
It is. I said it's one of my favorites on the album, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I think I would agree with that.
All right. So that was Graceland.
That was Graceland.
The album as a whole, what do you rate it?
The album as a whole is so nice. It's such a cohesive work, and it paints such an interesting picture. I can't imagine what it's like to live in South Africa. I know it's a lot better than it was in the '80s now, because they don't have apartheid anymore. But they have ever since F.W. de Klerk and Nelson Mandela basically kind of freed the nation. I'm sure it's a lot better there. I'm sure they still have problems, but I'm sure it's a lot better at the same time. So.
Well, I mean, there's still more of a third world place, though. There is still problems with poverty. There's still the toughness to find clean water in every village. I mean, some villages probably have it and some don't. I mean, it's just...
Yeah.
So we're very fortunate to be in the country.
I think that's, in some ways, the goal of the album is to make you realize that you're very fortunate to be able to listen to this music on CD in the comforts of your own home. Like, in South Africa, they listen to this music in the street square. Like, they don't have this... They didn't always have this kind of technology. Like, they didn't always have the same rights and privileges as we do. So it's to make you feel grateful, in some ways, to be able to access this media in such a way when the people who are creating it can't even access it in the right way.
Yes. I think that's an important lesson to learn, especially now, because I mean we're all stuck at home. We're trying to do what we can, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
And there are people who are just itching to get out, and that's kind of the problem, because then the numbers go up again, and then we have to stay in more. So just be smart, everyone. Wear your mask when it's necessary.
Be smart and be grateful.
Yes.
And be understanding.
And in the album, I would give it a 9 out of 10. You know what? No, I'm going to be even more helpful. I'm going to give it a 9.1 out of 10. I was going to give it a 9.1 before. I
would give it a 9.5 out of 10.
Mm-hmm. It's a very good one. I think it's important.
Thank you. Yeah, it's great.
Did you know?
It's a great album.
Did you know? I was going to mention this earlier, but I might as well say it now. This was put into the National Recording Registry for importance to the music medium, of course. But
I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very important recording to not just American history, but also world history.
It is, and it kind of puts light on some of the subjects that were maybe not known before or just weren't focused on that much. Because if you think about the 1980s, it was a period of excess, much like the 20s were before, and kind of like the 20s maybe now. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the future holds. Maybe we'll learn some things. I don't know. But I think it's important that we never forget these kind of things.
Yeah, I think so too.
We are one nation united. We are the United States, after all.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be put apart by
division. One world in harmony, like the Dire Straits said.
Yeah.
Gotta find a way
I'm
to be
not
one
saying
world
it's going to be easy. And I'm not saying you have to love every person in here, because there are some terrible people out there, granted, I know.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is we need to understand the other side.
Would you compare this album to Brothers in Arms? I mean, I know that obviously, besides the obvious similarity that they were released around the same time, like only a year after each other, I think they sound a lot alike, and they also have similar messages.
A little. I mean, Brothers in Arms is more about kind of war in a way, and this is more about peace. This is kind of the opposite side of it.
Probably. So, they could even be seen as companion pieces to each other. I mean, obviously, they're not even created by the same artist, but,
both equally significant in their own ways.
They both hold incredible significance.
They do.
Yeah. Someday we'll look back at the history of the 80s in history class, and we'll have to look at these albums.
And you know what? With how many artists we've lost, at least we still have the music to remember them by. That's the good thing.
Well, Simon's still alive and well, though, so hopefully that continues to be so for a while.
All right. So that was Graceland. What's up next on our agenda?
Well, we could do something by Fleetwood Mac, or we could do, I know you were saying 4 by Huey Lewis and the News.
That's a good one to try. I also mentioned Slow Hand is a fun one by Eric Clapton.
Oh, we could even do a poll between those two.
Oh, you want to do Slow Hand or 4?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll see which one wins. I guess I'll put it up on my page and see which one wins.
Although I kind of have a feeling that Huey Lewis will win because of, the sentiments from Back to the Future.
Oh, yeah. Maybe. I'll have to see. I mean, there are a lot of Clapton fans out there, too, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, he's one of the best guitarists of all time, or at least he's considered that. I would consider him the best. So.
Yeah. Oh, just before we go, make sure to when you end the video, make sure to press share to IGTV so that it gets posted on your page so that people can watch it afterwards in replay.
All right, thank you. All right.
No problem. Just wanted to make sure you were doing that.
And take care of yourselves, everybody.
I will. You too.
This is a fun time. All right. See ya. Have a good
Bye,
night.
then. Goodbye.